All right, we are being live streamed.
Where's your husband?
Welcome, everybody. We need to mute the lines.
I put all I
muted everybody. Everybody has been muted.
All right. There's so much to this.
Where's your husband?
Welcome, welcome everybody. We had to mute the lines. We got to go live on YouTube, and now we got to hit record. So there is a lot going on, and we're so glad that you are here to join us today. And we're going to get started in just a second. I'm Susie Jackson, and I'm in North Carolina, and we are Nature's Frequencies. And today we're going to talk about energetic health and wellness like we always do. We will advance to the next slide, which is going to tell you that this is our Nature's Frequencies product Zoom. And we do this every Saturday at this time and on this link to educate people about some amazing technology. Now, this is going to be a quick 2-minute video that pretty much tells you everything you need to know, but we're going to tell you a little bit more. But I love how this video explains things.
Good health is not something we can buy, but something we can improve. For decades, people have searched the answers to many questions regarding our health and improving it. Do you want to have the ability to live life to the fullest? Are you interested in sleeping better at night and having more energy during the day in a natural, healthy way? What if there was a revolutionary technology that could change your life? A technology that slows the aging process of fruits, vegetables, and breads, and also assists the body in offsetting the harmful effects of electromagnetic fields and more? We introduce Nature's Frequencies, an award-winning company that manufactures innovative health and wellness products under 6 U.S. patents, with natural health and wellness solutions that assists with balancing and harmonizing the body. But how do we do this? We combine knowledge from the East with technology from the West. As far back as 6000 BC, the Chinese have believed that the body has an optimal energy flow. When this flow is disrupted, it manifests negatively by stimulating specific points on the body. The body is encouraged to correct itself. We fast forward to the 19th century, a period of exciting scientific progress in the West. During this time, Nikola Tesla was a genius before his time. This Serbian-American inventor, engineer, and physicist confirmed the existence of scalar waves. Scalar waves are composed of pure zero-point energy. This gives them the ability to store data in a substrate. But something must be able to hold the data. Enter Denis Gabor, who in 1971 won the Nobel Prize for his invention and development of the holographic method. Holography can be used to store information inside crystals. And this knowledge is combined today to help you have better health and life. When applied to the body, the unique energy field signatures of Nature's Frequencies products correct and harmonize your body's frequency to optimize your body's energy flow. When the body's energy flow is restored and harmonized, the health of the body is naturally realigned. All of this has been developed by a family company with big plans for the future. Visit our website, www.naturesfrequencies.com, to take care of your precious health with Nature's Frequencies. Inspired by Tesla, patented by us.
Yes, this technology is inspired by a genius, Nikola Tesla.
And we may see a picture of him.
Yeah, well, he's coming up. He's going to show up today. But so this isn't just, one of the moms, that I know, when she was talking to her kids about something, she said, I just didn't blow up here, right? And so Nature's Frequencies didn't just blow up here, okay? This is an amazing company that has earned 15 major industry awards, including the prestigious Gold Medal Edison Award, which they beat out some pretty big companies in that particular award. They've been issued 6 U.S. patents to date, with more pending. They've been featured on television media and USA Today and many other media outlets for their innovations and their excellence. So here's that genius that we were talking about. Mr. Nikola Tesla. Nature's Frequencies has incorporated Tesla's technology and patented the process of replicating the energy and the frequencies from nature, from natural substances, and then programming them into energetic health and wellness products. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The Nature's Frequencies USA patented technology works in harmony. Harmony is a key word, with our body's own innate intelligence to direct the right amount of energy to the right place at the right time and in the right amount, with us never having to ingest anything. I mean, I just find that fascinating. So our bodies are energy, and every day our bodies are being bombarded by internal and external stressors, such as 5G and electromagnetic frequencies and radiation. And these are coming really from everywhere. And there's nothing that you can do to stop it. Okay. It's just happening. These stressors can create and cause issues with the body's overall level of function and harmonization. And what happens is when your body's energy flow is drained, blocked, imbalanced, or interrupted, then that's when people start to feel discomfort and other issues, things that they don't like, that keeps them from living their best life. So we have solutions here at Nature's Frequencies, because Nature's Frequencies has invented and patented some of the most advanced energetic health and wellness products that are designed to balance and to restore your body's natural energy flow to help you achieve optimal health and wellness energetically the way you are supposed to. The following is a direct quote from one of our patents, and it's speaking about our earthing card. It says, it emits energy tuned to the natural frequency of the earth. So when you place the EMF shield plus the earthing card in your body's energy field, then your body absorbs the beneficial frequencies that it needs in the amount that it needs, when it needs them, to help you achieve and maintain optimal health, energy, and vitality naturally and energetically. And I like to say, I have my EMF card, my EMF earthing card on me all the time. I always know where it is. I may not always know where my husband is, but I always know where my card is. And I have it right now. I wear it around my waist, which I'm not going to show you. And we owe it all to our amazing award-winning company owners. This is a father and son run team. Rick Hassler, who's with us today, is our CEO and founder. He's been a successful business owner, selling his previous business as an Inc. 500 company after running that business for 25 years. And then his genius son, RJ, is our president and CEO. RJ is the driving force behind the company, and he created and developed this technology along with his father, Rick. So I'm going to turn it over to them, and we're going to have a great discussion today.
All right. Thank you, Susie, and thank you everyone for joining us. We have a special guest, our quantum energy practitioner from California, Tim Coleman. Tim has got boatloads of experience. He is swamped with people nowadays. And one of the problems that you're going to hear is the environment. It's changed. From the day Tim started till today, things have changed. So if we could unmute Tim and bring Tim on. Tim's still, there you go. How you doing, Tim?
Hey, howdy. You can hear me okay?
All right. Tim, you're perfect, Tim.
Great.
You know, first, thank you for joining us. We know you're busy. And RJ, if you stop sharing your screen, I can see a bigger picture of Tim. How about that?
Looking for that.
You were looking for that too. All right. All right, Tim. You know, as a quantum energy practitioner, there you go. As a quantum energy practitioner, you've seen things change. And right now, our environment, has been changing. And I think, you've said that you're incredibly busy now. Do you think the environment has had an effect on your patients? Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, you might have heard the saying, environment is everything. And that's so true, whether we're talking about ourselves or humans. And yeah, it's changed so much. I noticed a big difference ever since the pandemic. People were shut in, they were stressed out, worried. So you had that negative stress, but also I think people became, they were just like in this environment, it's like a Wi-Fi soup, you're just inundated with these Wi-Fi signals and electronics, and everybody's now on their computers, their phones, their tablets. And it is having a big effect on people as far as how their body functions. What happens when you're surrounded with all these electronics and Wi-Fi, it has a way of, it's a stress to the body basically, but in essence, the cells shut down. They go in defense mode. So it's like, if you have a cell like a liver cell, for example, its job is to do different things like detox the body, maybe get involved with digestion. And here comes a Wi-Fi signal or a microwave signal coming through the body. That's a threat. So the cell will partially shut down, and it has a big effect on that cell's ability to do its job. And that's a little bit more of what's going on, deep inside the body. But yeah, it does have a big stress on the body. It has a big effect on people's energy, how their body functions. Nothing seems to work right when you get exposed to that much electronics and Wi-Fi.
When we were talking, one of the concerns that I have is about kids living on phones. And you mentioned about, how things happen fast and rewiring the brain. Can you explain a little bit about that? And how's that, sedentary, and tell us.
Right. Yeah, it affects children more because they're still forming. And, it's been said that the brain usually isn't fully developed until about the age 24, 25. But when a child is forming, basically when they're around electronics, computers, video games, basically you're rewiring the brain. You're basically training the brain. You're training the brain to be in an environment that's not real. So for example, even like something as simple as like a sitcom, you're watching TV, you notice a sitcom, they'll pack 3 or 4 days of activity into about 20 minutes. So everything is going so fast, or even video games go so fast. And so a child's taking on all this data, and it trains the brain to operate on a super fast level. And then when the child is required to be in a normal environment, on a car ride, or they have to sit still for a half hour, they get real fidgety, they get really agitated, they become maybe angry. And it's because their brain, we train the brain to go this speed, and then it's like, whoa, wait, slow way down. And the body doesn't know what to do. And it does put a lot of stress on children.
Yeah, RJ, can you, Tim mentioned the Wi-Fi soup. Can you share your screen again and show us a couple pictures of what this is my water tower. And if RJ can call it up real quick. This is happening all over. Dr. Janine sent me her water tower. This is my water tower. Explain what this, if RJ can call this up. RJ, do we have it? You're muted, so I can't even hear you, but we're getting there.
You see what I see?
There we go. This is my water tower in Guilford, New Hampshire. Dr. Janine's looks just like this in Atlanta. Tim, what is this doing to the people? And explain your thoughts. Like 10 years ago, this just happened in the last year to my water tower. What's happening to the people around that? Like, how's the environment changing?
Yeah, a lot of these signals, they're microwave signals. Not all, but many of them are, and that's just not natural. It puts a lot of stress on the cells. If you talk to anybody that if there is alignment, or especially people that work on cell sites, many of them are only allowed to work on that cell tower for a specific amount of time because of the radiation and exposure to microwave. So you figure if they're limiting workers as far as how long they can work on the towers. It gives you an idea of what it could be doing to the body. But yeah, these frequencies are not natural. It's an environment, it's going to be here. We can't really change that. Best we can do is protect ourselves, and the best we can help mitigate, some of these harmful signals. But it does, in essence, it's like putting the body in fight or flight. And it puts the body under stress. It puts the cells under stress. And when that happens, the body doesn't function properly. And another thing that I see a lot is a lot of people have lots of parasites and microbes in their body. And especially parasites, when they receive these frequencies, it's like a threat. And so they will release a poison, basically like a protection mechanism. They'll release a poison, but that poison gets released in your body. And it creates a very toxic effect, kind of like a fluish, sickly type feeling. And that's just another thing that a lot of people are not aware of.
It's funny you said that. Later on today, we're going to show everyone a blood video, but I was with a doctor that tested live blood, and he showed me how many parasites were in a person's blood. And like I saw them, a patient came to see him, and she was loaded with parasites. And he goes, Rick, understand, this is just one drop of blood. Don't think I picked the one drop where all these parasites are in it. He goes, they're all like that. And, she needed Paraclear to help clear up the parasites. But now picture the toxins getting released from all of those parasites, which your body has to cleanse somehow. So I understand the parasites. I've seen it. And
right.
We've got a really cool live blood video. But this is the issue that's happening. That on the screen on the left, Tim mentioned a Wi-Fi soup. RJ is in Boston. That's what he can connect to. Like, he's getting hit by over 20 sites. Add that to the tower that's near him, and Tim mentioned the Wi-Fi soup. Tim, can you explain about your body's? You talked about the 8-hour windows and what the Wi-Fi soup does to that.
Right. Yeah. It's a good thing to remember. The body runs on 3 8-hour windows. And so if we can help the body work within harmony of those 8-hour windows, we'll be much healthier. So those 8-hour windows are, let's go from we go from midnight to 8 a.m. That's assimilation, or excuse me, that's rest and repair and rebuild. So between midnight and 8 a.m., we want to repair and rebuild. Between 8 a.m. and 12 noon, that's the cleansing window. And from 12 noon to 8 p.m., that's assimilation. So if you look at those windows, we want to do our best to work in harmony with those windows. So what does that mean? Well, between 12 midnight and 8 a.m., your body wants to repair and rebuild. Well, you can't really do that if you're getting Wi-Fi, if you're getting microwaved, because those cells, instead of doing their job and repairing, rebuilding, detoxifying, they partially shut down and they can't function properly. So what happens is we just become more and more toxic. We're not repairing and rebuilding like we should. And then we start aging. That's part of the aging process, where we're breaking down, and people are aging and breaking down way too fast. I'm seeing 30 and 40-year-olds that they look like they're 60. So, or, even other parts of the day when we're trying to assimilate, you can't assimilate very well if those cells are not working properly. And so, going back to the Wi-Fi, it's going to affect every 8-hour window. But what I see a lot of times is even in that sleep window, a lot of people are having trouble sleeping. And in fact, I'll tell people, hey, if your kids are not sleeping, or if you're having sleeping issues, just try unplugging your Wi-Fi modem, put your phones on airplane mode just during the night. You don't need it during the night. When you get up in the morning, you can turn it back on. And after a couple of days, a lot of people say, wow, I do sleep better. My kids are sleeping better. So that it gives you a little bit of idea of what's going on.
Dr. Stan really said it a good way. During the night, your brain sees the signal from the Wi-Fi, and it's like a bright light hitting it. So if you have a smart meter, it's going off every 10 seconds or something. If you got this signal, he goes, now picture your brain trying to get in the relaxed mode, sleep, but you're seeing the signal. So you really don't get in it because, and like RJ, he's got 20 different routers hitting him. So they're all going off at different times saying, yes, I'm here. So your brain's seeing all these signals and it really doesn't get into the deep sleep. You explained it really well about a construction worker. Can you explain exactly? Because I love that analogy that, you know, a guy's trying to do his work, but he keeps getting,
Right.
Explain it.
Yeah, it is like, you know, you expect somebody to build you a house and, you know, every 5 minutes, somebody's tapping him on the shoulder, you know, interrupting the process. He'll never get any work done. And that's very similar to how the Wi-Fi is working when we're sleeping. We're constantly getting interrupted. Also to touch on Dr. Stan's point, even the blue light that we get from electronics, our body is constantly receiving frequencies from the earth and the sun, or in a perfect world, that's how it would work. And our body is always syncing up with the earth and the sun. However, the signal that we get, or the frequency, the light frequency, or light spectrum that we get from blue light or electronics is very close to the frequency of 12 noon. So if you think about that, you know, as the sun is going down and we're starting to signal the body to start to release a slow amount of melatonin, well, then we get on our phones or we're being exposed to Wi-Fi and it's like, well, no, it's 12 noon now. It's like, well, the body's like, well, is it 9 p.m.? Is it 12 noon? What is it? So it really disrupts our circadian rhythm and how we're able to sleep and rest. And also to go a step further in regards to sleep and how this affects us, you need at least about 5 hours of uninterrupted sleep. And one of the main reasons for that is so we've all probably heard of the term lymphatic system. That's just your sewer system in your body. That's how your cells release the trash. Well, you have a glymphatic system. So you just put a G on the front. And what that system does is that's to detox and flush out the brain. And so when we're sleeping and we get about 5 hours of uninterrupted sleep, you got that spinal fluid, it goes up the spinal column, it flushes through the brain, it cleans everything out, it drains back out and cleans out a lot of, you know, just junk proteins and heavy metals and things like that. Well, if we keep getting interrupted in sleep, that also affects that process. And then we start developing too much heavy metal in the brain. We might get plaque, we might get just too many toxins and poisons. And then we wake up more foggy headed, we can't concentrate, we can't think right. And that's another big issue that I'm seeing with people, is because they're not getting good sleep, is having other effects on the body.
And you see a lot of, okay, let's go to your computer real quick. Tim's got a very cool computer. If you could explain what you're seeing now that you never saw before. Like, tell us about your computer, please, and what you're seeing.
Yeah, it's what it does. It's all about getting to the root issue, but the computer runs on quantum energy, or within the quantum energy field, based on everything in the body. Every part of the body is vibrating at a very specific energetic frequency. That's really how it works. But the computer, what it does is it's looking at the body. It will determine what are the stresses of the body, what are the main stresses. Also, it will tell me what can the body handle and what is a priority to the body. So for example, actually, here's a good point to, I wanted to bring this up earlier. So this morning because I know we've talked about my machine and I can't get the resolution right so that I could show you live, you know, with my phone. But what I did is I hooked myself up to the computer this morning. I made sure I took all the earthing cards, nothing was on me, no patches, nothing. So I hold on to this grounding rod and it automatically tells me, it's going to tell me what are the main stresses, what is a priority. Well, when I first held on to the grounding rod, it's color coordinated and it lists a lot of things that are in the blue. That means these are categories where the body needs support. Okay, well, that sounds good. You know, it gives me different organs, different glands that need support, maybe different nutrients and everything. So that all sounds good. And then, okay, so then I go back and I put my earthing card on, I put some patches on, and I sit in the chair that I'm in now, which is a charged chair. I call it my quantum chair. And so then I pick up the grounding rod again, and the priorities are totally different. Now, a lot of the priorities or line items are in red. Okay, well, that means stress. Well, it doesn't mean that the earthing card made me, it put me in a poor position, or it made me in a more unhealthy state. What it means is that now my body has energy. And so now my body says, yes, I have enough energy to deal with these stressful things like heavy metals. I think there's some heavy metals and some adrenal stress and different things that were showing up. So that's pretty neat, because that shows, on one hand, your typical person, they don't have enough energy. And then you give the body energy and it says, okay, yeah, let's go to work on this other stuff. But yeah, that's how my computer works, is it will detect things that are causing energy. And what I'm seeing a lot is there's a category under toxicity. And so I click on that, and pretty much everybody now is showing EMF stress. So what that means is that EMF exposure is causing a highly toxic reaction in the body. And person after person, I'm seeing that more and more often, especially the last 2 to 3 years, especially since COVID and all that. People are getting, they were locked up and just around computers so much. And I'm just seeing it more and more. Plus, during the COVID time, I think they were upgrading a lot of antennas and transmitters, and they're putting up a lot of the 5G. I know in my office, I saw the guys working, digging trenches and putting up some 5G antennas. So with all that, it's having a big effect on people.
Tim, you mentioned your chair, and you also, when we talked before, you mentioned a lady that was at your office and said she just felt good. And then you sent her to another practitioner for an issue. Can you explain this, and then explain what you're doing in your chair and what the reaction is from your people?
Right. Yeah. Everything is energy, and we need energy for everything. Any function in the body, you have to have energy. The problem that I see with most people is they're very energy deficient. So I just see it as being in debt, so it's kind of like you got somebody that's swiping a credit card and they aren't even thinking about it, and they're on vacation and they're having the time of their life, and they're just swiping. And like I tell my wife, as it relates to health issues, the bill's going to come in the mail. And what I mean by that is people don't pay attention to what they're doing to their health, and they're just going in debt. And at the end of the month, they get that bill in the mail and they go, holy cow, how did I spend so much? Well, that's where most people are. We're energy deficient. So how can you expect your body to digest? How can you expect to detox? How can you expect to repair and rebuild if you don't have enough energy? So yeah, I had a client that she's been in my office, and then she went to another practitioner for some things. And she mentioned that, totally different. I don't know what it is, but when I was in their office, I just couldn't get settled. I couldn't get in state. It was hard for me to, get in touch with my emotions. And it was hard for me to process. And it's because in my office, this chair that I'm sitting in, I've got earthing cards. I've got the energy card underneath on the back, right along where the spine is. And what it's doing is it's whoever sits in the chair, they're getting energized, they're getting grounded. What it's doing is it's giving the body the energy it needs to process the emotions, because it does take energy to process emotions. And again, your body's very smart. And so if you're a practitioner, you're saying, okay, let's address this issue. Let's do this. Let's do that. The body's like, no, I don't have enough energy. I barely had enough energy to get in the car and come over here, or I'm barely having enough energy to digest my breakfast, let alone, process any emotions. And so that's what she was experiencing is in here, I've got an energized office. It gives the body what it needs to get the work done.
I loved hearing about yourself, because when you took away all of our products, now let's help people and fix mitigating it. But when you took away all of our products, your body wasn't trying to heal itself. It goes into survival mode, it sounds like.
Right.
But then all of a sudden you have the energy and, okay, let's go fix this. Let's go fix this. Mm-hmm. And we've heard that before. So let's focus now on how our people can help mitigate EMF and help energize their body. So what are, let's go to my favorite product, the earthing card.
Yeah.
We've, and this is something that everybody can do. You've done the balance test. I show people range of motion, put the card, it's instant. it's automatic. You turn 20 to 25% further.
Mhm.
Can you explain what's happening? Why? And then you take it away and you're back to normal. Like, well, I'm back to not as good. Explain why this helps the body in today's world, because I'm getting hit with EMF too. So can you explain that with this?
Yeah, very simple terms. What it's doing is it's returning you back to nature. So I've done the balance test, and it blows people away. I like to do the balance test because it shows the person how it only takes about 2 pounds of pressure. If somebody's like, get their arms out to the side and they pick one leg up, and it just gently with my fingers, just put about 2 pounds of pressure, they topple over. And then I have them hold an earthing card, and wham, they're strong like a tree. They won't budge. And that just blows people away. But I explained to them that it's nothing magical. Basically, what you're doing is you're giving your body what it needs, and your body's returning back to nature, or even the other test with the range of motion. It doesn't mean that something magical happened. All it's doing is it's allowing your body to function in its natural state. And we should be more flexible, more balanced. And that just shows you what our environment is doing. It's making us very weak and unstable.
I totally understand it. And you can show people the balance and you can show people range of motion. But if that's working, to put you back to normal, what's it doing for your organs also? Explain like the benefit, because then I'm assuming, I don't want to assume, but if all these things are working back to normal, wouldn't it help everything work back as it's supposed to?
Yeah, because your body needs a certain amount of energy to do everything. And every organ, every gland needs a certain amount of energy to function properly. I think it's between, I want to say about 67 to 73 or 74 hertz of energy. So they've done studies and they've hooked up, the liver but on average, I just tell people, well, it's about 70 hertz of energy. And so, and I use that illustration when I'm telling people how important it is, as far as what they're eating. So certain foods like dead food, cooked food, a cupcake is like 4 hertz of energy. Big Mac's like 5 hertz of energy. A cucumber is like 70 hertz of energy. So it just kind of gives you an idea of how important energy is. But yeah, when your body is grounded and energized, you have energy to function properly, to go back to nature and do what it's supposed to do. I've had people where they were coming out of surgery and I said, hey, just sleep with the earthing card, but it gave them so much energy, they had to slow down, or sometimes people feel a little foggy headed in the morning for a few days. And it's like, okay, that's good. That your body now has energy while you're sleeping, you're detoxing, you're processing, detoxing, getting rid of a lot of that sludge. And so that shows you how important energy is. Everything works better. And the earthing card is one of my favorite. That's like my energetic Swiss Army knife. You don't leave home without it. That's, you need it for everything, and it will only enhance all the other products. So for me, that's my must have. If I only had one thing, that's what I would do, is I would have an earthing card on me. Funny story. I went on a cruise a few years ago, and I was in a group of, I think it was about 8 of us, and we're at one of the Bahama Islands. I can't remember, but we were in one of those areas where there's not really any waves, and we're out in the water, and they had like this floating bar. And so we're all just kind of kicking back, and some people had like floaties, and everybody's complaining about, they're like, ow, ooh, ow, they're like, what's going on? They're like, what's underneath the water? People are getting stung by these little tiny jellyfish. Everybody was getting stung. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And everybody's getting stung except for me. And I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute, what's the difference? And the only difference is I was the only one with an earthing card in my pocket. So I can't really explain exactly what was going on, but jellyfish are electrical, and that card is very energetic. They didn't like that. They didn't like that charge coming off of me. So I guess that's, I guess it's a good jellyfish deterrent. I don't know, but it goes to show you, that this stuff is real. The technology is real, and it's really doing something. I have another client. He's got property. He's got horses, pigs, animals. He's got 3 horse troughs on his property. I said, here, take the EMF, take the earthing card, put in one of the horse troughs and just tell me what happens. He says now all the animals will go all the way across the property to go to that one trough to drink out of, because they see the benefit, they feel the benefit. So that, that just goes to show you how powerful the product is, and it's really doing something. It's real technology.
The earthing card's been tested on HRV testing, and the results were amazing.
Right.
Absolutely phenomenal. And it's been tested so many ways, but it's so beneficial, bringing people back to earth. And with the EMF shield and the earthing card together, it's helping everybody. I explain to people that, the EMF shield is for your phone. This is for your body. And I love the jellyfish. This is new. It makes sense, because jellyfish felt your energy. You're not going there. We're going to go zap these people.
Right.
But tell us how important it is to have an EMF shield on your phone. You've done muscle testing, so you've seen it. But please explain the EMF shield and why people need it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the nice thing is what it does is it changes the frequency. So our phones, we're not going to get away from it, but the phones, they do put off a lot of Wi-Fi. They put off a lot of frequencies that are not good for your body. And it does weaken the body. And I just did this with a guy yesterday, was in my office. I said, here, I like the sway test. And for everybody, this is a really good way. It's just a muscle test, but it's super easy, and everybody can do it. So if you just stand there with your feet, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 inches apart, straight, and just pretend that you have a hinge at your ankle. And then you can ask yourself something, or I like to close my eyes and I'll say, like, my name is Tim, or my name is Sally, So internally, you're going to feel a gentle nudge. You're going to feel like a gentle nudge to sway forward or sway backwards. Now, all biology, all living creatures will move towards positive, and all biology will move away from negative. So forward is yes or positive, backwards is no or negative. And so I like to just ask a simple question to make sure somebody's wired up right. And I'll just have them state their name and see if they go forward. If they go forward, then they're wired up right. That's a whole other topic. It just means if you get an incorrect answer, that just means your polarity reversed. It means your energy's going backwards, and that's a whole other topic. But and the reason for that is negative emotions and too much Wi-Fi will flip your battery backwards. But yeah, that's a super easy test. And so what I do is I had a guy yesterday, I go, here, take your phone, and you're going to feel a nudge forward or backwards, and boom, he goes backwards. And I said, okay, give me the phone. Here, take my phone, puts my phone, and he goes forward. He goes, what the heck? What's this all about? So it just shows you that what it's doing is it's telling the body's getting the signal. Yes, this one's harmful, and yes, this one's good. So super easy test that anybody can do. And you can do that with food. I do it with everything. I test everything. But yeah, anybody can do it. And that just goes to show you what this product is doing. But yeah, it's protecting your body, and it works. It's like, I always think of that. I always think of the analogy of a manufacturing plant. Let's say the Ford Motor Company. They're making cars. They got the assembly lines going, and if you've had to shut the power off, every 5 minutes, they're not really going to make a whole lot of cars. Same thing with the body. You're getting Wi-Fi, you're getting, it's always looking for cell phone antennas, and you're constantly getting bombarded with these signals, and it just keeps you in a fight or flight. It keeps you in a negative state, and it just creates a very dysfunctional body that's breaking down faster than what it should.
This is a riot. Years ago, I had a doctor tell me that test food and put it on your chest, do the same thing. Like you said, forward, it's good, bad. And he took, I'll never forget this. He took a pack of salmon that was supposed to be fresh, blah, blah, not farm raised, the best salmon he could. And the person went like a jerk back. He put it on the food freshness card. This is when we first invented the food freshness card. And he goes, Rick, guy just went forward. And he had to explain it to the person that, yes, that was the best possible salmon you could buy, but it picks up frequencies that aren't beneficial to your body. And the food freshness card did exactly, and I've never done it with a phone, and no one ever said that, but he did it with food. So when you said of food, to me, it's like a deja vu, Tim. This happened like 7 years ago. Very cool.
You just jogged, sometimes I just put a few bullet points, and this is what I have. I have rusting furniture, Wi-Fi soup, jellyfish, water trough, and Cabbage Patch dolls. That's the Cabbage Patch dolls. I didn't tell you that. Okay, so I'm talking to a guy. He's deep into the energy work, and he's got contacts in China. Well, there was a guy in China that was working for the Cabbage Patch factory. Okay, so silica can be charged with frequencies. Silica is a very common mineral, and it's a very abundant mineral in the human body. Nothing magical about that. But so the point to remember is silica can be charged with frequencies. So what they were doing, instead of that little silica pack that you get in vitamins, or the silica pack, you buy maybe some slippers or something, they'll put a silica pack in there to absorb the moisture, prevent mold. Well, what they did is they started taking the silica pack and they were putting it inside the doll and sewing it up. But what this guy was doing is he knew how to charge, he knew how to project or put energy into items. He was putting the energy into the silica pack that would create the desire to not only buy the product, but it would make the product very attractive. And so what they did that because when you're going down the aisle, children are very receptive. They're very in tune with energy because they don't have all the baggage we do. They're more in a subconscious brain level, and it worked. It was like an obsession. Kids were just obsessed with these dolls, and that goes to show you that you can charge frequencies into water, silica, and that kind of shows you, well, okay, that's more of a positive, but it can also have a negative effect. If you're putting negative frequencies out there, it will go into the human being or water or like you said, salmon.
Yeah. And this was supposed to be, Tim, the freshest, best salmon. And the guy was, the doctor said, bring me, what you buy. And so he's all proud of no, doc, this is fresh, not farm raised, caught wild, flown in. And, okay, let's test it. Uh-oh. Anyways, let's go back to, we saw that. And RJ, are you seeing anything on my screen? You're muted, Arch.
I don't see anything. I think you're good.
All right. We're good. Sorry about that. Anyways, it was pretty amazing. And so I love that story. I think we're going to start putting silica inside of all of our packs. But water and silica program's awesome. So Tim, let's, mitigating EMF and the world today, let's talk about a couple more products. RJ, can we show the blood video real quick for the relief patch? If people,
blood video? What the fuck?
Oh God, Arch, did you hear that? Arch? RJ?
Yes, hang on, give me 1 sec.
Yeah, you got to mute somebody.
And we got to remove a couple people's.
Yeah, there you go. So in the meanwhile, let me explain it. When your body has discomfort, your body focuses the energy on trying to fix the discomfort. So, the more discomfort you have, the more the body's going to focus on that. So we had our relief patch tested with a doctor, and you can kind of see the difference in the blood video. So RJ, let's, can you call that up?
Yep. Okay. Right. Do you see what I'm seeing?
I see it. Yeah, you got it, Arch.
Okay.
Do you see what I see? I see you have red.
Okay. RJ.
Uh,
Let's just say this is the normal blood. Please explain what just happened.
Well, they separated.
And what does that mean?
Well, actually, there's an increase in blood flow. And if this were internal, then this pain would be going down.
Can you just look at me for 1 second?
Eat shit, eat shit, eat shit.
Just by adding the pain chip, what did you just say?
I just said increased blood flow, more oxygen to the body, less pain.
And then you just said one more thing also.
Did I say
You did say
pretty unique?
pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing, that's what I said.
Okay.
okay, we got some noise over here.
We have some background noise.
We got some
That was-
background.
We have some background. Let's put Tim back on. And Tim, let's focus on the relief patch. And that was the actual doctor like 7 or 8 years ago. I was with him. And that's when I learned how many phagocytes and what's in the blood. And he would show me, like, this is not blood. This is not blood. So Tim, you want to unmute and we can get you back on? And sorry about the disruption, everybody. But Tim, tell us what we just saw and how beneficial it is. More blood flow, more oxygen, less pain.
Yeah,
You're ugly.
those blood cells, they when they're clumped together, they can't function. You can't get toxins out of the cell. You can't get.
Oh,
Did we lose Tim?
oh, hey, we did lose Tim.
We got a hacker that's definitely.
We
What a
might have-
dipshit. He dropped off.
Oh, all right.
Oh, RJ, maybe you can disable our little hacker.
Oh.
Anyways, I'll go back to explaining it and maybe we can get Tim back on. In the meantime, in case we don't, the blood, you can actually see the difference. Coagulated blood, and the best way the doctor explained it to me, he goes, took his hand, he went like this. He goes, Rick, understand when your blood gets coagulated, it won't go through the capillaries. And so if you picture your ear, like your phone is at your ear and you get that right ear, like the temperature goes up 1.5 degrees on a 3-minute phone call on average in lab testing. Well, it's because your blood gets strung up, it won't go through. So your body's fight or flight mechanism sends more blood. So your ear gets even hotter. And with our cell phone, with the EMF cell phone patch, it goes up 0.08 versus 1.55. It's a 94% reduction. And it's in our patent. And we're one of the only people in the world that can say, we have a product that offsets the frequency of EMF devices. Hey, Art, can you nuke that person? I don't know if you see what I see, but
I don't.
anyways,
I don't see what
it's it's flipping out of Will Hayes, just so you know.
Okay.
Anyways, to go back to it, if your blood's trying to get through and it's strung up, it will not go through the capillaries. All right. When you get separated cells, it goes through. Separated cells means it can deliver you more oxygen. Now, the coolest thing this doctor said, it goes, Rick, understand, this is dark field microscope. The longer the blood's out of the body, and he goes, this light is incredibly hot and bright to that blood. You're cooking the blood. So he goes, normally when I look at blood, the longer it's under my microscope, it goes to less movement because you are cooking it. He goes, what he saw with the movement and the single cells was truly amazing. So that was Dr. Smith a long time ago, but I learned a lot and he explained it and it really made sense to me. Separate cells allow more blood flow. More blood flow brings you more oxygen. And, we have the testing in the lab on EMF shield. It does it. 1.55 degree, your head goes up on average. We have people tell me their hands cook with it. Put an EMF shield on. Really simple. And I got to tell you, the Tim story with the food that he said, I forgot about that, Arch. That was from a doctor way back that showed us this, and I totally forgot about it. But anybody can try this. You stand up tall. You stand up, and if it's good for you, just hold your food to your chest. If it's good, it leans forward. If it's back, you'll lean back. And he said, as long as you're right polarity, then take the food and put it on a food freshness cart and test yourself again. Watch what happens. All right. And you can do this. It's really pretty neat. But, a lot of practitioners do muscle testing, and it's another way of doing it. You can show people and they can understand it. It's something I totally forgot about until Tim said it. So, RJ, I don't think do we have Tim again, or is he locked out?
I don't see Tim, and he might have got, I don't know.
He might have got, all right. Well,
He might have
sorry,
got
everybody. We love Tim. He just hit me up. I can't get back on. Can you look at the admit room, or is the admit's closed?
I think everything is closed. They won't let me. I don't even see the admits.
Okay. She's trying now. I was removed by the host. Somebody took your host job over.
How rude.
Anyways, well, sorry, everybody. Some hackers like to hack. And RJ, let's go, let's kill the live stream, because I don't really want to get hacked anymore. Sorry,
Yeah.
everybody out there, but we've got